Hi everyone, this is June 4th. Today is June 4th. When the week started last month, before month ended, it was rosy, so good. Talking about this candle especially, it was so good. It was promising because then it kind of broken this ugly consolidation. And then of course we knew, so there was a yellow line here, and we wanted it to be broken, and it took a while. If I look at 12 hours, there was a line here, a yellow line, which was hard to, it was giving tough time, real tough time. So every time it would touch, retrace, touch, so on. And eventually that, this was the line I'm talking about. Eventually it was broken, and it was a moment of victory in a way. And then it made good progress during the day, and we knew that orange is the next resistance because this chart hasn't changed since then. However, this was at that point in time, this was a consolidation, positive consolidation. There was nothing to worry. It
No.
was, and it was true, because if you look at this range, there was nothing to worry, right? But come from June 1st, mm, starting new month, it changed everything. So this drop changed everything. But to me, this was not as bad as this, if you ask me. See, this drop was like a retest of this breakout, and I was okay with that. I put a white dot saying, okay, it could bounce, and I was not afraid. I posted some memes indicating I'm not afraid of that, but which was true, because I have seen that after breakout, it comes, this is it retraces to the level, and then, so this is throwback, and then it goes up. And it, in fact, like if you look at, this is 12-hour, it went up, maintaining this support. What I didn't like is this one, this candle. This was the game changer. And since this was there, I didn't want to again call out right away, because sometimes, okay, this hasn't made any loot. But then I saw this on Friday, and I said, this is a big problem, and especially after the rising. So things developed in my mind that it, because anything doesn't change, the landscape doesn't change over time. I mean, sorry, doesn't change all of a sudden. It changes over time, and you have to monitor and gradually, change the gear on the positive side or on the negative side, and update you guys accordingly. So I just narrated what was going on in my mind, that I wanted this yellow to be broken, which it did. Then I was expecting some reaction, which it did. Then a little bit of, but there was nothing to worry. But then this was really deep, but still it was okay to me because it maintained the support, and I knew where it stopped. And then it had a good bounce. But when I saw this, I said, wow, wait a minute, there is something wrong, because this is not in the book. I mean, this story is different. And I didn't like it all, because then it should have gone up and reclaimed this level and should have continued. Maybe slowly, I don't mind time. The level was important. And then when I saw this, and especially when I clubbed with capital market, which is which is also not doomed, or I would say the relief rally is not killed yet, hasn't been killed, but I see weakness on Friday. I saw weakness in Friday. I saw strength in bond yields, means bonds are again dying. So that's additional pressure. And another thing, which is like job report was good. So when the job report was good, why should we worry? I don't think, but what Fed would think, that if the job report is good, that means the companies are doing well. I mean, that I'm not an expert in everything, but what I heard from Fed is, when the job report is good, that they think that the companies are doing well. One of the criteria, I mean, there would be many, they would try to tighten more. They think that the companies could absorb more, because if they're hiring, that means they can absorb more. So they can take, so that's, I think that's what probably market anticipated. When the job numbers were good, that means Fed will feel confidence, because if the job numbers were would be, you know, declining, in that case, that means company do not have enough, you know, strength, and then probably they would go ahead with whatever they're supposed to, but they would definitely consider. But with this report, I think probably they would think that, okay, now they can go more aggressively. Again, there are many factors. I am highlighting few of them. There are many factors. The inflation is not going away. That is the main killer. And the inflation is also not going away because of supply issue, not just because of the high demand or high liquidity, high cash amount. So there are two prone problem. Fed policy do not work on supply side, only on demand side. That's one fact. But the one good news is China is coming back. So China, if the China engine starts, then I think there will be relief on the supply side. So there's so many factors going on. But if there's another thing, if the China starts, the oil consumption will also go up. If the oil consumption will go up, again the oil price will go up, means everything will go up, inflationary point of view. So at this moment, which factor will if affect how much is very complex. But if so, look, because you have to see the net effect, and it's very hard to quantify the net effect. Well, one thing is for sure, inflation is not going away. Inflation hasn't topped, in my opinion. The commodities are still going up, things are getting expensive, and the Fed is going to act on it. So there's going to be pressure for sure. What I was expecting a relief rally, but the relief rally, probably I'm not so sure now. I'm kind of neutral. I'm not saying it is out of the right. It's impossible on Bitcoin or stock market, but now I'm kind of neutral, where I want to see from here that can it break above uh, this particular level, which I was expected to come, you know, achieve, because this is resistance, like very intraday resistance. And if it is consolidating here, then that's not good sign. I would like this price to be somewhere here as soon as possible. Consolidating here, tapping this one, touching this one, is no good, because it had already provided bounce, already provided little bounce. These are defensive bounces, but this one has to go away. If it can continue to be here, then it is going to build pressure, and eventually it will break down. And that's why I highlighted last night that this is the time where I think we have to change our mindset. Like I said, I changed my mindset and adjusted my position personal level, because you had to I was in a definitely mood of some good rally up to S8, but sometime like this, the factors that I mentioned, technical factors that I mentioned, made me think that now, just come to the present. Now I think the present is telling me that it is not the same as Thursday or this day particular 29th. It's different, stories different. This is like coming back to kind of this level, where we had a situation where it could go down anytime. So this is ugly setup. It is boring setup. BTC is not letting anyone to be relaxed. There is no easy way to trade. I totally get it, because how can you trade when BTC is up and down every other day, right? So it's extremely challenging, that's for sure, right? So I would say on BTC, so BTC relief rally, I would say it hasn't been killed yet. However, I feel that this support and maybe 28680 is lower. So this range is a critical range. If this is broken, which one? 29300 is broken, there has to be some action, in my opinion, to safeguard. If this is broken, then definitely even more aggressive action is required to make sure we are not at the wrong side of the trade. Okay, so I would say at this moment I'm neutral, and when it breaks above 30900, then I'll say okay, now it could go and touch this orange or S8, which is like 33k range. Then if that happens, we are talking about 10% rise on Bitcoin. That means 20 to 40 or 50 or maybe more for some of the alts. So because it multiplies, right? So that's the scenario we have. So at this moment, I think we need to be careful, or we need to be watchful. I have my alerts. I hope you have your alerts as well, right? And you should have a plan as well, right? Risk management, because I think yeah, this is surviving more as part of the relief, and we have to see. So whether it touches this level around 31k plus, right, or below 29,300 will determine. So this is the simple conclusion for Bitcoin today. We are going to look at weekly, but I think at this moment it's important you understand the intraday or present lower time frame, because the lower time frame will tell us. So now we are going to go on a higher, because that's our trend. For trend we need to go higher. So I'm going to highlight, sorry, hide, not hide. Yeah, let me go to today. Let's look at one weekly. We use Bitstamp, right? Bitstamp. This one. Now, last week, what I said is for last 3 weeks, the closing is always about this cyan line. That is positive, because then it means this rectangular pattern is intact, which is true, which is good. But this so look at this one. This is like, this particular attempt is really killed, literally killed. This weekly gain is gone. Hardly there is anything. Now we may argue that the week hasn't ended, so yeah, of course there's still a few hours left. So there can be a bounce and recovery, but at this moment we can say this is like 95% of the gain is gone. So when you look at weekly, we cannot say this is looking good. Definitely this is in trouble. It seems to be in trouble, right? Now come next week, so it is possible that if it can close even at this level without making new low like below, then next week it could revive actually, because in that case it would not make new low. So this is so everything last 3 weeks actually, you see, this is your parent candle, so to speak, and these are three child candles. These child candles for last 3 weeks are still under this parent candle from early May. So this is and they are not closing near the low from a candle analysis point of view, and they're still at the mid level. So from that point of view, we can say this is neutral kind of a setup. But if this makes a new low by the week ends and settles somewhere here, that's definitely a bear signal, a big one, because then I don't think this parent can handle, means it defeats the purpose at this moment, especially when early this week, when it was here, especially about macro, sorry, major support one, about 30k. It was really in a strong position then, because we were then expecting it to hit this one. Now it's here. We are saying that it's like a very tricky, right? So this daily, hourly, here and there, few green and red, I think we should not get into this kind of a thing. What we are expecting is on a weekly, it has to break about the point where it retrieved, I mean, return or rejected. So which is around 32,000, let's say 400 on on Bitstamp, maybe some difference. Then we can say, okay, now it is good. So that's on weekly. So weekly is it's so strange that this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is 10th candle, and 9 candle red in a row. Never happened in history of Bitcoin. History of Bitcoin never happened. So this is 10th one. So let's see. I mean, how and I mean, there's no formula that it should be green after 7 or 8. There's no formula, but because this is a historical thing, we would logically we would think that, okay, can it give at least one green candle? So that kind of expectation after so many. We are not saying that it will change the whole landscape, but can we get at least one green candle after 8 9 9 red? So that kind of expectation one can make without any long, I mean, deep thought. And that's what it was looking, it looked like when the week began. But let's see. So right now, as I speak, there is some bounce, which is good. But I think we need to look for those levels that I mentioned. Unless we get those levels, I think there is no need to celebrate. I mean, there is no reason to celebrate. And right now, there is no reason also to panic, but to prepare. I would, I would, I would make sure that my strategy is in place, the risk management strategy is in place. That's it at this moment. And of course, which I mentioned that at this moment, personally, what I'm doing is I'm not looking for any big move. I'm looking for some intraday scalping opportunity if I make it. So if I have free time, I would say, okay, what can I buy? Little like short term, like few, like even if I get 2%, 5%, that kind of a thing, I would be happy. Unless and until I get clear direction from BTC, because that's just a change in style. Rather than you buy and say hold and then you try to enjoy the ride. Times like this, if one has to earn, I'm not saying this is everybody should do it, but if one has to earn, the strategy has to be intraday, in my opinion. This is not the time where you buy and say I'll look into this tomorrow, because tomorrow it could be something, it could be somewhere, price could be somewhere. So this phase, especially since yesterday, this is not where you buy and say, okay, I'll looking after a day or two. No, I think you need more attention to what you're buying if you're buying, right? And if you already have, of course, you need a plan. But this is the time where if you want to buy, it is something that you have to see during your day. When you close your day, you don't care. I think because you don't know what would be the scenario when you wake up after a few hours. So that kind of situation we are in. So we cannot sleep with open position. I mean, we can have a stop loss and all those things, but when you look for small margin, I mean, you cannot have deeper stop loss and you might get stopped out. So in this kind of situation, if I'm online, like say today I start my day, I would check which might be a good opportunity. I'll try to get, so if right now Bitcoin is bouncing by let's say 0.5%, 1%, I'll try to see what might give me a quick gain. But as soon as I see weakness, I'll just close it. I might get 2 to 5% gain, or maybe 10% gain, who knows. And then, but I would not say, okay, now you know what, I'll just close my day and look for opportunity tomorrow. That's my, I'm not saying you should do it, but this is what I'm planning, and I'll be doing from today, and unless and until it improves. So I'm going to take anything during the day, close by end of day, I'll be relaxed. Come next day, I'll see what is there, and then we'll see. This is also important. I mean, this is also tricky because this thing could change so much. This, even if I see something, it's not possible to me. I may put on ad hoc, but even if I'm away for 3 4 hours, it could dip and go below the entry point. So very tricky, I think, as an analyst to offer some opportunity in this market. I think this market, unless and until you are real time, like on call like this, and then only it's possible. Like I could open and constantly watch for you, then only it's possible. Otherwise not. So that's a it's a confusing thing for a TA that I sometimes I do see. Let's say during the call, I do see there's some coin would be like pumping at this moment because Bitcoin is up by 0.5%. But the moment Bitcoin stops doing and starts dipping again, the same coin would go equally fast, or I mean, like it would reverse. And there is no way for me to say, oh, you know what, no, it's going down, so reset, forget about what I said. So that's silly. And as I said, if I'm not around after a few hours when it happens, it's even more challenging, because then you would think that I'll update about it, but it's not possible. Because how can I update? I can watch that position every hour. With this model, it's not possible. Even in any model, actually, it's not possible. Right? So that's the challenging part. But I'll try to see if you could get something, but it's going to be very challenging. Anyway, so on coming back on weekly, weekly looks weak, right? So we have to be careful. Let's have a look at monthly. So last month, of course, didn't close well. So this month it's flat because there's almost at the opening price, right? So that's why it's flat. The monthly looks ugly, as indicated last week. So especially in last 2 days movement, it's even more uglier, right? So this is really not looking good. And yeah, from a trend point of view, we have to look at weekly and monthly, because no other lower time frame is going to tell you what is really happening. So long story short, this is going down on a trend basis, on a trend level, uh, long run, long term trend point of view. This is still going down. This is not looking good. It really need a good bounce, 33K plus, then only things could change. This is no good. So not a good news for Bitcoin from that regard. So it got bounced from MS2, tried to climb up, but now not able to pick up required height. So now I won't be surprised if it starts looking for 20K or 18K or even lower, 16K. And as I mentioned, even the capital markets are weakening after a few days of bounce. So that's also tricky. So not looking good. Um, Also, I think Vice Fed chair, she also mentioned that the inflation hasn't peaked yet. So I think market will take it seriously. Fed is everything. Fed moves the market. Fed is the king, queen. What else? Okay, so that's it on Bitcoin. What we can do is we can have a quick look at other coins on today to see, but I'll highlight the strength only, relative strength, because at this moment I don't think they would do differently. So we're going to look at today. So some try to balance, because if you look at weekly, I don't think they would look pretty. But I think let's look at the weekly, since this is weekly call. And yeah, um, this is like you can see there's nothing sideways for last 3 weeks. There's no opportunity. Atom is even weaker than Alice. So you see, it's actually heading for this one. I think we should stick to weekly, if it makes sense, because that I don't want to give any hope unnecessarily. This is AVAX. Look at the AVAX. It's about to make a new low. So if this is broken, then there is nothing but $12, 50% drop for AVAX. There's nothing in between, which could save around 14. This is approximate, not calculated, but this range around. BNB, a relatively stronger coin, because look at the recovery. It's much better than many. But yeah, there's nothing. You can clearly see it's leaning more towards downside, right? The high was not even higher than the last week's high. It tells that the weakness, it talks about the weakness. CRO was also doing well during the week, but now it's beaten up badly. So this is a critical point for it. So if this is broken, it would go down. So look at this one. I think it's following this trend line at this moment. Yeah. So if this is broken, I wonder. Yeah, I think there's nothing up, up to this level, or maybe lower in this range. There's nothing. Yeah, it could just, yeah, it could go deep, go down deep. But you know what? You don't have to disappoint. Only you have to make sure that you take care of this thing. I'll tell you, if you have cash, not financial advice, if you have cash, you will love it. Even this drop, you will like it. But if you're long and somebody is rigid enough to say no, 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 nothing is going to happen, it's just dip and it should go up and all that, and then okay, all the best, because since it has been in a correction for since November. So I think nobody on opportunity channel should be in that mindset. You see, in fact, now it was up by 0.8% Bitcoin. It's gone. Now, if I, and by the time, some alt would have gone up by 5%. If I would have posted on ad hoc and look at what happened just in matter of 5 minutes, that particular altcoin would have actually dipped and erased all the gain. How there's no way to. So I cannot post unless I'm online and update you. There's no way. This market is not for signal, in my opinion. You cannot send a signal with a setup. I think it's time to be defensive, to be honest. So what I was saying that even if it is falling sometime, it of course is bad because you're not gaining. But if you have access to futures, then there's opportunity. I don't mention that, but it's very simple. So for an example, this particular, I'll take the Crow as an example because it's on my screen at this moment. I would put I would put this, even I can go on a daily actually, and it's a chance that you would take, okay, in this situation, shorting I'm talking about. So if I had to, if I have access to CRO shorting, I would short here and with 8% stop loss. But if you want to go, you can look for something even where the stop loss can be closer if you want. And you sometime you can go with something which is not moving fast, because then, so for an example, Bitcoin can be shorted here, and then it can, so if you get out here, then there is a risk of 4% here, around under 4%. And of course, you are not, nobody is going to short by 100% of portfolio, right? So the total loss is not going to be 3%. So if somebody says I want to spend 10% on shorting, then that person is taking 0.3% risk at this moment with this setup, right? I'm not saying one should do, I cannot say, but I don't mention shorting. But when I say there's the longs are in trouble, that means there's opportunity for short, which is implied and implicit. So what I just shown as an example, one can use some amount and then calculate what is the potential loss in at that level. And then, I mean, so you can say, okay, it's 0.3% acceptable? Is yes, with the 10% of, yeah, if it is acceptable, then that's a trade. But then if it bounces and take your stop loss, you have to accept it. You cannot regret about it. And you cannot play on the both sides. So if you think that this is now kind of going down and I'm not like, then it's like, and at this moment, the pressure is more, so probability of breakdown is more. That's what I can say for sure. Okay. Doge, Doge. So Doge is also, this is like a big consolidation here. After this is broken out, I would say, I haven't calculated, but then we can say it could look for lower level, much lower level, 0.46 something, 0.046. DOT is also under pressure. So this could also come down to 4 point something over here. Like all of them are like, they are killed. I mean, all of them lost again. Almost all. So it's very hard to find anything which is able to. I'm talking about weekly gain. Okay. Look at EGLD is also very weak. So now this is the, it would stop around 55 and then try to bounce, and then, but if that is broken, then there is nothing. It could go deep. I don't want to talk about doomsday, but the correction, if the correction continues, this alt could actually provide huge opportunity on the lower side. So not a financial advice, but I think one, if you are able to maintain cash, then there is going to be huge opportunity when this mess is over. But then one has to be patient enough, and we'll be able to find out on opportunity channel. That's for sure. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. So when there is some space for relief rally or relief bounce, one could think about short-term long gain, short-term long position gain, but without forgetting the big picture, because I always mention that the big picture is not changed, hasn't changed. So if you look at Ethereum is also very weak. It's on edge. Actually, this is even more vulnerable. I mean, because this is on lifeline, to be honest. This is like a critical support. It is, if you look at this structure is the whole entire structure. Let me give you an idea. I had to compress this. If this is broken, it will get some relief here, but don't be surprised if it touches $700 or something like that, or even deeper. I'm letting you know upfront. Don't be surprised if it touches. I think I have 750 or something like this level. I think I have calculated more accurately. but it's in range of 700, 750, 760. I don't remember quite, but yeah, in this range. But the point is, so this whole entire structure is in trouble. That's what I'm trying to say. The whole entire structure, if this collapses, this is going to even go down faster, right? And to me, this is like opportunity, as I said, in down the line, because Ethereum is not going away. Probably this is the last coin I think can vanish. If Ethereum goes, I think this is the last coin, last of the Mohicans, the movie from 90s. So this is this is probably the last one, in my opinion. So to me, everything that's an opportunity. And I can see the structure here. This is a huge W. Those were TA, little bit of TA here. This is peak, and then this is retracement, and then huge rally. So the worst is this 400 something, but still it will not kill Ethereum. It won't kill. And this much is still very bullish. If you look at, so this one is a first move, then a consolidation, another leg, a retracement, and then big one. So to me, if it can go up from here, it's well and good. I mean, it's not that it must go down, but right now I don't see that it could go up from here. There's no sign of it. So it has to go down. And if it has to go down, then it could come down up to in 700 range. So if you have enough cash, you'll enjoy it. Okay. So it's okay to be conservative. If you're looking at the big picture here, because this call is all about big picture. This is vulnerable. Luna is doing something different, which I will come. And I don't have any soft corner for Luna, but somehow I see some kind of energy in Luna, hard to express. So I'm not saying it will go to the moon and all, but I think if I had to pay more attention on potential rise from here, even though Bitcoin is, that's Luna. Their staking is has begun, and that's more on the fundamental side, but on technical side also it's showing some strength. So very interesting, which we'll talk about later. Flux is bad, so we can skip it. FTM is also bad, so this is not happening. The bounce, the height is this much only, not like this. So this arrow is this much only. So I think better to say it's continuing like this. Yeah, and this is also a big one for FTM. Let me tell you that this is a big one. So if it can bounce from here, then it could give a good bounce from here. This is still a deep one. If you look at this one, 50% plus. But let me also highlight that this is double story head and shoulder. You know, there's no pattern, but I just made up the name. Double story head and shoulder. Okay. So in that one, basically, this is your shoulder. Okay. And then this is the right hand side shoulder. In fact, triple story. I'm not making fun. I'm serious. I'll show you beauty. This pattern is not formally recognized, but just I just think that this is so. In fact, this is the head, right? But if you actually look at, then these are small shoulders, left shoulders, right shoulder. So this is sort of first level, right? So first level, this is left shoulder, this is, let's say, head, not a perfect, this is double head, double head. And then this is right shoulder. Then this is your neckline. Yeah, this is your neckline on this pattern. This is your neckline. So this neckline is broken, then it lands here. Then you enter into a bigger head and shoulder where these are the, this is left shoulder, this is right shoulder. And then if it continues going, if so, this is the neckline, this is the neckline, and then it continues and follow this one. And then this is a third level where it consolidate here and create symmetry and a bounce and consolidation. Then this is a third level, and if it can go up, well and good. Otherwise it goes down and retest this level, and total collapse of whole entire move. So this is the, but I'm not saying, so each point is a point where it could bounce. So for an example, if I had to draw, the way I draw is this. So let's FTM, I'm spending some time to explain this pattern because this pattern is also in Solana and some other coin, right? So what you saw here is this one up. So from here on, it could have gone up, but didn't gone down. It could go up. Then this is your checkpoint. But if it continues, then goes down here, right? Goes up, and then total collapse. Now, what I should do is I should have an arrow indicating that it could go up like this, and similar arrow we could have here, but it didn't. I mean, we had it, but it didn't work out. So now no need to add. So now we can say this could give. So right now we are looking for this drop here. So we have to make this red, let's say, and we are expecting it to touch this and a bounce, and a bounce could lead to the recovery, total recovery, and total recovery, or it goes down, okay, in this box around, and then again there has to be a green arrow indicating, you see, these are checkpoints. So this is a checkpoint neckline, this is a checkpoint. I'm talking about the major ones. Checkpoint. If it bounces, this is checkpoint, again a checkpoint. Then it comes down here because there's nothing, maybe some resistance here slowing down, and then ultimately in this region, this is your checkpoint. This is your checkpoint from where it could branch out, I mean, and diverge, I mean, and go up. And if not, then it goes down. So this is how one can explain what is really happening. But when I draw, do you see a step pyramid kind of a structure here, like in South America? This is kind of structure that you would see, a step pyramid. So it's like a three levels of head and shoulder, or whatever name, or maybe step pyramid, something like that. I don't know the name. There's no name of this pattern, but it looks like a mountain, right? So total collapse that way. We have to see. I'm going to keep the drawing because right now I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is going to happen. What I'm saying is this is likely to happen, because you know me, I don't believe in extreme cases. But I would project when there is direction is down, so I would project it. But at this moment, consider this as dotted, and this is more as solid. And FTM is just one case. I think there are many coin with this kind of a thing. So we'll get we'll wait for the right opportunity. That's what I would say. And if you're shorting, there's opportunity. Look at this one. This doesn't have enough information, but it kind of give you the glimpse. If this is broken, then there's price discovery. Like there's nothing. Ghana. HNT was looking good, strong. Look at it, tried to climb up. but it got rejected, but still a strong coin. But similar structure, if you look at this one. So if this is, let's say, taken down, then here it could consolidate somewhere here around 3-4, and if that fails, then again it could go down. You will see only when you look at the higher time frame, otherwise you're not going to see this. Yeah. And KCS is one of the strongest one. This was broken. Now this is like another angle at which it's moving. So one of the strongest one. This thing is strongest one. Actually, this is the strongest one in the list, or probably in the entire list, in the entire crypto. This is probably the strongest one at this moment. KCS. KD is total collapse, continuously going down. So look at this one. Yeah, this is a parent and this is a child, but the child are going down. So this is so if this is taken down, then there's nothing but then zero 0.7 and total collapse in that case, right? But as I explained, I'm not going to repeat, but you got my point. So these are checkpoints. If this is taken down, then there is next, and if this is, there's a bounce. If not, then this. It's just like a staircase. I mean, these are steps. It can be like one step at a time or three step at a time. But what you're observing here, going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. So basically, it's going down. As simple as that. The trend is down, and in between you see some bounce. So one should not get fooled or misguided. I would say misguided is the right word. One should not be misguided that everything is rosy now, but once they see a nice bounce like this, please do. And so on the weekly call, I'll make sure there's no misunderstanding. Link, I think I won't say more. It's covered in other coin. So I had this projection, right? So you can draw another line like this. This is what it looks like. Then you can say, then probably this one, connecting this one in that case. And so, but these lines are useless that way. I mean, so I think it looks for $2, $2, $3 kind of thing. $3, $2. Not looking good. Luna. So Luna is a little tricky and annoying from one point. The KuCoin should not have put the new coin in the old chart, because it is giving me hard time for me, because this is totally different coin, and what we have 2.0 is totally different coin. So, and because of this price gap, it's not, you cannot analyze it accurately, because from here it jumped here. So there is no data in between. So it ruined the calculation basically. So what I had to do is I had to just focus on the part which is new part, which is this line. And then if I just consider this one, then there's not much enough data to work on. So I had to go lower like this and then work on this. Yeah. On Luna, I'll give you the support level, which you can just, so if you see below 6.225, consider as risk. Okay. Otherwise, how deep this is. 2.5, not bad. 2.5%. Then I would not say there is potential opportunity here, but otherwise I see this consolidation could actually give a breakout on the upside. Right now it's in a good balance. The structure is very positive, but if it breaks below, you know what, I can be a little aggressive and then go for this low, but not much. This is okay. 6.25. Let's stick to this. If it's 62.25, then I think it will be off balance. Then I am not interested at this moment. I think it can do something different. We'll see. Time will tell. Okay, coming back to weekly now. Okay, there's nothing new like many other. So rejected by previous resistance here. Blue. Yeah. Matic. Now I had to remove this because this relief is not happening. There's no relief for Matic. In fact, so Matic is also on this one. This is critical. Yeah, I think it could be. This is the region. This is the target level 0.3. You know what? I would make a circle for now, so I don't have time to calculate. I don't want to calculate what. There's no need to. So we'll see when it bounces. I'll just make a circle. Yeah, same story. This is bad. Reset. This is also reset. So I think this is going to reset completely. Same. Sand also got rejected, not able to break above the blue. See, multiple attempts. So now this is the next one. This is a prior resistance. It's 0.6, 50% drop. Now you think that this is an opportunity, in my opinion, those who are shorting, right? So as I said, I'm not saying it, but if this is your rejection, this is your support if you're shorting, and then this becomes your target. Once you have profitable trade, the good practice is to bring down support at a near break even slowly. So just in case if it bounces, there's no loss as such. So if it breaks below, then you can slowly, bring down your support stop level, and as it comes closer, even more and more. That's how it is. Trailing stop loss technique is very, very effective. So it's here now. If this is broken, I don't know where it will land, to be honest. So SQL is weak. Solana is also very weak. One of the weakest coins, actually. One of the weakest among the top ones. So I would say it's looking for 20s around, yeah, this level. 20, 22, 24 kind of a range. Same as FTM, it could provide a bounce. And again, there's nothing. If it goes, then 4 or 5, something like this, and then a total like $1, $2. I'm not kidding. Because when it was here, nobody believed 250 to this one. If you look at my past video, I mentioned this path all the way. So this started in November, and we called out here, and then had a path every week, guys. So I'm saying this is the next level, and there could be a bounce. If not, then the next level. It could continue going down. The extreme case is $2, $1 to $2. But that's an opportunity. The funny part is this was not long ago, actually, just over a year and a half. This is very extreme, but possible. At this moment, not probable, but possible. I think this is probable. 20s, 2020. This is probable. VRA. Also like similar story. There's nothing, so we can draw a circle somewhere. We have this range. But yeah, I mean, roughly speaking, 30-50% drop, it seems, if BTC doesn't improve. So I talked about BTC and what is required. If BTC doesn't achieve that level and continue to pressure that the support line, which I mentioned on the Binance chart, then we can safely assume that these coins could lose 30-50% at least. So that's it. So this ends the BTC and altcoin coverage. I hope this you will find it very helpful. Feel free to ask me any question you might have. Okay, so ending this session here. Thank you, everyone.